Hello, welcome to a new setting for DTB lifts. I'm at Cam 7 Studios in Manchester. They very kindly let me use their videography space to do some of my more informational videos. Makes a little bit of a change from me filming myself in my grandma's kitchen. Not that I don't appreciate you, grandma. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I recently took a poll to find out what people want my first informational video to be about. The poll was either weight loss or muscle building. And as someone who has a little bit of experience with both, I should say I'm not a personal trainer, I'm not a nutritionalist or anything, but I was a pretty fat dude and I managed to sort of change the way I look and I'm now comfortable in my own skin. So the weight loss won by a close 4%. So today's video is going to be on 5 methods that I've used personally to lose weight quickly. I should mention at this point, it's worth sticking around to the end of the video because there's something I want to say about the process of losing weight quickly in the first place. But for now, we're going to jump straight in and go to number 1 on the list. All right, so number 1 on the list is the keto diet or the ketogenic diet. The keto diet's becoming extremely popular at the moment. I'm pretty sure I saw a documentary only a few weeks ago on BBC, I think, where they took a load of celebrities that had some weight to lose. They put them on the keto diet and they sort of taught them all about how they can use that to accelerate fat loss. The keto diet is also often prescribed to morbidly obese patients by doctors because it can also help to stabilize blood sugar levels, and this is the reason why. So the way that the keto diet works is you reduce almost completely your carbohydrate intake. You get less than 30 to 40 grams of carbohydrates a day, and you subsidize that by increasing your fat intake. And what will happen when you do that is you'll enter a state called ketosis, which essentially means that your body adjusts to your higher fat intake and lower carbohydrate intake, and it will move to burning fats primarily for energy. Also, if you've looked into the keto diet yourself at all, you'll know that what a lot of people do to find out whether they're in a state of ketosis, or essentially fat burning, is you get little keto strips from the pharmacy and you weigh on these sticks. It's a very shameful experience, and then you hold a stick up with your own urine on it to see if you're losing weight fast enough. So really, for me, it was a little bit of a weird experience having to, keep these strips around the house to find out if I'm burning fat efficiently enough. Also, I don't think that the keto diet goes hand in hand with a lot of sort of aerobic activity. At the time, I was kind of obsessing about losing weight as quickly as I could. So I was boxing 3 times a week, and I was running a 5K, maybe an 8K, 2 or 3 times a week as well. And I felt lightheaded, faint, lethargic all the time. The only time that I didn't feel like absolute garbage was first thing in the morning after I just slept, but my energy dropped real low. A lot of people as well say that they experienced something called the keto flu when they're undertaking a keto diet. I didn't experience that myself, but a lot of people can suffer with migraines, fevers, all sorts of stuff. So if you're thinking about doing the ketogenic diet, I would definitely do a little bit of research before you embark on that, because it's a tough diet to follow. It's also extremely difficult cutting out all carbohydrates, and I don't think it's a great way to lose weight for the foreseeable future. It's good for taking weight off quickly, but I don't think it's a lifestyle that the majority of people could stick to long term. Okay, so the second one on the list, bam. Right, I'm going to do it again. All right, so number 2 on the list is juicing or juice fasting. If you've seen the documentary Fat, Sick or Nearly Dead, this made juice fasting extremely popular. It was a few years ago that I undertook a juice fast, and I didn't eat for about 3 weeks. The only thing I was having was juiced vegetables and fruit, which essentially removes all the pulp, all the fiber from the vegetable or fruit, and you just drink the liquid that comes out the other end. So if you're thinking about doing a juice fast, I would consider something else, because it is extremely hard to get used to not only the taste of drinking something that's got a liquidized cucumber in it, but also the smell. I can't eat cucumber anymore. The smell just disgusts me. And essentially what you have to do is you have to keep bottles or jars of fruit and vegetable juice around your house, just so you can sort of like hold your nose and gulp it down throughout the day. Again, if you're a sort of morbidly obese person, and you're looking for a way to get weight off more quickly and sort of stabilize blood sugars, I would consider the ketogenic diet over this for sure. It's very effective at getting weight off quickly, but at least you're able to eat food. And you know, you can have bacon or you can have cheese and that sort of stuff, at least on the keto diet. Juicing, don't do it, is my advice, because it fucking sucks. I actually had extremely bad headaches. I was nauseous all the time. I was tired all the time. And I actually shat myself in work. Right, number 3 on the list is intermittent fasting. This is something I still use today. There's a lot of sort of counter arguments on whether this actually does speed up the rate of fat loss compared to a normal calorie restricted diet. What it does for sure is it allows you to be much more satiated by the calories that you do have. So intermittent fasting essentially means you have a fasting window and an eating window. Typically, for a beginner to intermittent fasting, you'll have an 8-hour window in which you can take in calories, and the remaining 16 hours of the day you fast. You have 0 calories. So the only things you can have during your fasting window is water, black coffee, or like green tea or something with no calories in, or like diet sodas. I have a lot of sort of fizzy flavored waters and stuff, right? If it's got 0 calories in, you're good. But what it's great for is making the most of your calories. So let's say, for example, you're on a calorie restricted diet and you're only able to eat 1,700 calories a day. If you was to stretch those calories out, you'd get to work at 7 in the morning and you have your breakfast at 8, right? By the time lunchtime comes around at 12 o'clock, you're going to be hungry again. You started your metabolism by having that early breakfast. 12 o'clock rolls around, you're starving again. 5 o'clock comes around, you have your evening meal. Chances are you've got limited calories left by that time to eat your dinner. And then by the time you go to bed, you're probably starving hungry again. I like to eat a lot before bed. So what intermittent fasting allows you to do is you delay where you have your first meal and you break your fast, or you have your breakfast at 1 p.m. or 12 p.m. Then that means that you can then spend the rest of the day having maybe 3 or 4 decent sized meals and finish eating at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. right? But by the time you just had your last meal at 9 p.m, there's no time left in the day for you to get hungry again, right? You'll have your meal and then you go to bed. So intermittent fasting just allows you to have a calorie restricted diet and be satiated for an 8-hour window rather than eating tiny portions and being hungry all day. And what you'll find is after you've been doing it for a few days, you'll be hungry when you start to go without your breakfast. But by the time you've been doing it a week maybe, your early morning hunger will just go away completely. Your body will adjust, and it's almost like your body gets on a clock, right? Like a metabolic clock. The hunger doesn't affect you all the way up to 12, 1 o'clock. And by the time you actually get around to having your first meal at 1 p.m. like I do, I could take it or leave it. I could wait up until 3 o'clock if I wanted to. I just don't. So, yeah, intermittent fasting. All right, 4 on the list is carb cycling. This is something that I kind of do now, but not to the extremes that a lot of people use carb cycling for, to lose weight very, very quickly. So carb cycling essentially is kind of what it sounds like. You just get on a pedal bike and you only eat carbohydrates when you're cycling. I'm joking, of course. Carb cycling just basically means you cycle between low carb and high carbohydrate days. So typically what you do is you drop your carb intake down to maybe 20% of your overall calories. And then on 1 or 2 days of the week, you would up it to around 50% of your overall calorie intake. So what that allows you to do is you have a lower calorie, but also lower carbohydrate day. You know, it's kind of common knowledge that lower carbs tends to equal fat loss. But by having those high carb days, you stop your metabolic rate coming down too far, so to the point where if you was to then up your calories again, you're going to start putting fat on, right? So if you essentially what you're doing with your metabolism is this, but on a straight line it kind of stays the same, yeah. So carb cycling's good and particularly useful for people that do a lot of weight training like myself. I have an online coach that does my meal plans, and typically my meal plans will be substantially higher carbohydrates on training days, especially heavy training days, but then on rest days or like recovery days or days where I'm only doing cardio or abs or something like that, my carbohydrate intake will be moderate. I wouldn't say low, but it's kind of like average, right? So carb cycling can be useful for fast weight loss, especially if the low carbohydrate days are like real low, and you sort of maintaining the calorie deficit as you go along. It's something I'm not super experienced with, but I'd recommend that over something like ketogenic diets or juicing or something like that, because you can still have carbs, it's just lower on certain days, right? All right, number 5 on the list, and the last one, is cardio. Probably one of the first things that people think of when they think about losing weight is just going for a run, and which is kind of true. By doing cardio, essentially what you're doing is you're increasing your energy expenditure throughout a day. So if you're eating the amount of calories you would need to eat to stay exactly the same weight, and then you went out the house and did 500 calories worth of cardio, going for a run or a swim, you'd finish the day in a 500 calorie deficit. What most people don't think of is the amount of stress that extended cardio can put your body under. If you're going out of the house and doing enough cardio to burn 500 calories and you're doing that 3 or 4 times a week, the aches that you'll get in your legs, the grogginess that you'll feel in the mornings after an 8-hour sleep even, is surprising. So using cardio in a way that isn't overwhelming, isn't putting your body under too much stress, is a very, very effective tool, and it can be used to sort of chip away at your overall weekly calorie intake without putting you under too much stress where you're just hungry and tired all the time, right? There's a sweet spot there where you can use cardio, but it's not making you starving all the time. You know, so things like doing 200 calories on a rowing machine, putting a treadmill on an incline walk for 200-300 calories, no way near as stressful on the body as fucking running an 8K. And I have done that. As I said before, when I was on the ketogenic diet, I was boxing 3 times a week, and I was going out on like long runs 3 times a week as well. I was faint all the time. I was tired all the time. My legs hurt, my knees hurt, my feet were covered in blisters and all mangled. My feet are like pork scratchings now off the amount of running that I used to do. So use cardio as in a sort of moderate sense where you're contributing to an overall plan where you're in a calorie deficit, and you're just using cardio to slightly increase that calorie deficit rather than absolutely trying to smash it, because it'll make the diet that unbearable that it makes it very hard to sustain. Okay, so those are the 5 methods I've used in the past to lose weight quickly. Just as a final thought. I think any approach to weight loss, in my experience, and as I said, I've been through juicing, keto, fucking water fasting. There's plenty of other stuff that I have done to try and lose weight that I haven't even put on this list. And the one thing that has worked for me was finding a way that I can eat and train in a way that's sustainable and I enjoy, and I can do it. I can see myself doing it long term for the rest of my life. Using a method that will lose a lot of weight very, very quickly is not sustainable. It's more than likely you'll be tired, miserable, hungry, you'll get headaches because you're not getting enough calories, or your body's under too much stress from the sheer amount of physical exercise that you're doing. So my advice would be, if you found this video because you're looking for ways to lose weight quickly, right? But the way to lose weight and keep it off, which should be the question that you're asking yourself, is find a plan that you can see yourself doing in 2-3 years time, 10 years time. If you're eating in a way where you say, you know what, I'm happy, I can go to the cinema and have popcorn if I want, I can have a fucking biscuit with a cup of tea if I want, I can have ice cream now and again, then it's all good. Everything in moderation. The easiest approach to diet is calories in, calories out, right? If all you need to do is go online, I'll put a link in the description to a calorie calculator. You put your information in and it'll show you how many calories you need a day to maintain your weight. You put in your activity level, age, height, weight, and all that sort of stuff, and it'll say you eat this many calories a day, you will stay the same weight, right? Take 500 off that number, then eat that many calories a day. Done. You'll probably lose 3 or 4 pounds in a couple of days, and then after that point, you'll lose maybe 2 pounds a week, which is the most you would ever want to lose, 2 pounds a week. In your first week, you'll lose more than that because you dump some water. But after that, you want to lose about 2 pounds a week. And you know what? That might not be half a stone in a week. It might not be a stone in a month, but fucking hell, 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, you're still going to be doing it. And the person that was on the fucking juice fast that wants to kill himself after 2 weeks will have given up. They'll be back to takeaways every night. You're doing it in a way where you think, you know what, I'm learning, I'm reading the packets on food, you make smarter food choices. It might just be like, yo, you pick up a packet of white muffins in the supermarket, and then you pick up like some wholemeal muffins and you go, fuck man, these ones have got 60 less calories in it. You'll just learn little bits like that from just counting your calories. That's it. Just count your calories, do 200, 300 calories worth of cardio 2-3 times a week, done. It's sustainable and it's easy and it's not stressful, and you'll be able to live a normal life rather than fucking juicing cucumbers like I did and messing myself in work. So that's it. Thanks for watching this first video in the studios. Again, thanks to Cam7 Studios for letting me use the space. I'll be back here to film more informational videos. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I've got 60 subscribers at the minute, I think. So you could be 61, baby. And I'll see you next time for some more diet, training, shit. Bye.